Hello Laravel friends, here's what's new in your favorite PHP framework. Let's go! Laravel supports PHP enums already in multiple ways, but there's one thing missing. I'll show you. So typically in PHP we have two types of enums. We have the so-called backend enums, like this one here, where we provide the cases and the string, like here for my podcast categories, draft, publish, and archived. And we have the ones where we don't have a string attached. Typically both are working in Laravel, but there was one thing missing. So what was already working is when you try to cast those values from a database. So here I have status, which is a field on my user, and I cast this to a status on my enum. So this already worked, but what didn't work is when you try to use Eloquent to query specific users with that. So here in this case, I'm saying, give me all the users where the status is the status archive and just show me the name. And this was not working before, but now if we run this, you can see this is now working. And here we only get back here Taylor. But if I change this to another type, like say active here, for example, yes, let's run it. And yeah, I am and Chess, we are both active. So this is now working, which is pretty cool. Thank you, Giorgio. Next, we have a security-related update regarding hashed passwords. In Laravel, of course, every password stored in the database is being hashed because if we ever leak some data, we don't want anyone to find the real password. So we have two users here, me and Taylor, and both passwords are being hashed, and we are using bcrypt in Laravel. And we can also see this $10 here means that we're using 10 rounds to hash this. And this is something that we can define in our environment file with the name bcrypt rounds. And you can see this is set to 10, which was the default now for a long time in Laravel, but also in PHP. But now with the new version upcoming 8.4 in PHP, the new default version is 12, and Laravel 11, it is also now 12. So if we change this now, this means for every new user that we're going to create, this new hashing mechanism is being used. So if we create here a new user, let's create Chess here, and check out our database again. We can now see we have Chess here in the database, but we can also see this new hash here for a password is using $12, which means 12 rounds. So the higher this is, the more secure this is. But this also means our other users here still use 10 rounds. And we don't really want that because now this means Chess password is more secure than ours. So what you can do now in Laravel, when you log in with Laravel 11 and this new release, let's log in as myself first. All right, I'm logged in. And if we go back now and refresh here, you can see, voila, my password has been rehashed. So it now uses also 12 rounds, and this is why this value has been changed. Of course, my password is the same. And if we do the same now, let's say log in as Taylor at laravel.com, and the super secret password. And here we go. Now also Taylor has a new rehash password. So what this means now, whenever we change now this value, we want to have more secure passwords. Users just have to log in again, and we're going to rehash the passwords for them, which is the best way to handle this. So this is now more secure and pretty easy to use new feature. Thank you, Stephen, for making our Laravel applications even more secure. And last, we have a new context feature in Laravel. During a request, a lot of things are going to happen. A route is being hit, then maybe a controller, some action classes, maybe a job is being dispatched, and so on. The new context feature makes sure that you can share some specific metadata during a whole request. So best is to take a look at an example, which we're doing here, context in combination with logging. So I have here my welcome control, and inside here I'm sending this info message to my log file. Something happened, and if I refresh the welcome page, take a look at my log file, we can see we have this message here, so this is working. But now we would like to add some context to the whole request. And it's also a good idea to see this now inside our log file. So we're creating now a new middleware together with Laravel IDEA plugin here, and let's call this maybe just add context, yeah, like this. And before we return here the request again, we want to add something to the context through the context facade. And we have this add method, and then we have a key and a value. So we want to add the URL, the current one, which we get through the request URL. And then, yeah, that's how we do it with the key and the value, which we're going to add to the context. And if we refresh now our page again, oh no, first we have to go to our route here and add this middleware with the middleware method. Let's do this now, add context middleware class. Yeah, here we go. Now let's refresh the page. And if we go back now to our log file, we should see a little bit more, and we do. So we have our normal message, but we also have our URL with the URL the user was using in order to get here, which is pretty cool that this is now automatically added to our log messages, which can be super useful. Okay, maybe I want to add something more. Maybe let's say we also want to add which user was sending this log message. So let's add the user here. We also get the user through the request, through the user method, but only if the user is given. We want to see the ID. All right, so let's try this out as well. Refresh. I'm already logged in as a user. So this means we should see an ID, and we do. User with the ID of 2 was using this. So let's take a look here. Yeah, I'm logged in. So let's log out, and now we should also see a message with null as a user because now no user is given. And maybe let's also try it out now with a different user. Log in here as Taylor or Christoph. And now let's refresh and go back here. Now user ID 1 send this log message, which I believe is pretty cool that this is working now. Of course, there is much more that you could do with context. There are a lot of more methods that you could use. So you can also retrieve data directly from the context. You can also add some hidden data that is maybe not shown in log files and much more. So please also make sure to take a look at the documentation for this new feature because there is a lot you can do and logging is just one of those examples. Thank you, Tim. As you can see, we are not stopping with Laravel 11 and we will keep pushing Laravel forward just for you. See you the next time. Bye.